Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. This thing is 20 years old today. The Nintendo GameCube released in 2001. And I remember getting this as a Christmas gift in 2002. I got it with Super Mario Sunshine, Mario Party 4, and Luigi's Mansion. And after 20 years of owning this console and playing many of its games, I still have to ask, why the hell do you have a handle? You look like a lunchbox. Is it supposed to be a portable console? Or should you have your groceries inside? I still don't understand. But the GameCube in general is a fantastic console, and in my opinion, is one of the greatest ever released on the video game industry. And the GameCube is home to some of the best games in Nintendo's franchises. Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, the F-Zero series, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. The list goes on, and those are some of the best games ever when it came to Nintendo franchises. But the GameCube wasn't all a bundle of joy. The GameCube was a commercial failure, or at least it didn't pull the numbers that Nintendo wanted. This is the case of Nintendo underselling a console and they having to go a little under until the Wii actually came back and saved their lives. But the GameCube's legacy is actually great, with many people loving the GameCube more than they like the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2 was a masterpiece in its own kind and was able to sell itself really well due to having a DVD player. But the GameCube had such quality games pumped into it because Nintendo needed them. And yes, it had its weird things like Donkey Konga, for example, but it pushed out some of the greatest pieces that I can remember, especially in the multiplayer department. Like, I can get into this collection anytime that I want and find at least 7 or 10 different games that I can play with my friends and have an amazing time with. The GameCube is filled with the memories of multiplayer gaming, from siblings to family members to friends to sleepless nights playing Mario Party, screaming at each other, and more recently, times where I'm with my friends drinking and we reminisce on the games that were part of our childhood. Like, the GameCube is great and it went with us for the longest time. And the next bit that I'm going to talk about is about the controller. Now here I have an original Nintendo GameCube controller. This is like the one that I have in best condition because the rest of them feel like they were ravaged by a raccoon. But this controller is one of the greatest designed by Nintendo for a variety of reasons. And to the point that Shigeru Miyamoto stated way back in the early 2000s that this controller was going to become the standard for the rest of the industry. And he wasn't entirely wrong, because this still has been the best way to enjoy the Smash Bros. Series, even after 20 years of its inception, really. And it goes to show that this was a controller that was created for a reason. You have the A button that has all the other buttons clustered around it, because the A button is needed for most of the actions in the games. Jumping, sometimes interacting with stuff and everything. So Nintendo wanted that the player would have their thumb in the same position every single time and would have easy access to many other buttons going around a circle. The second stick was made smaller, so you would have like flicking it instead of having to hold it. It added analog shoulder buttons, which are really good as well, and a lone C button. I still understand why there's only one. And the D-pad is garbage. Like, the D-pad is absolute garbage. I don't recommend anyone playing any games with it. But this was, and still is, one of the greatest controllers ever made. It's still being replicated by a lot of other manufacturers to play and sell Switch controllers. And it's still amazing. I really like this controller, and someday I will do a video on Nintendo controllers. But that's all we can talk about for the GameCube. There's going to be a lot more that I want to talk about these gigantic purple lunchbox, but it's time to wrap up this video. If you like this video of Unscripted, let me know. If you have really nostalgic memories from these purple box, let me know in the comments below. I will see you guys pretty soon. Take care.